Welcome everybody to another episode of the Plug and Play podcast. My name is Alexis, of course, and we got my co-host Henry. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How's it going, everybody?
And we have some unfortunate news to share today. Our third co-host, as you all know, Cameron or Cam, he will not be here today or for the possibly the rest of the year. He's been going through a lot of stuff through life. And it's been hectic right now, so we won't know when he'll be coming back, but he's always open to come back whenever he's available. And it's been sad to see Cam go. I mean, he was just like a contributor to the Plug and Play podcast, and we learned a lot of stuff from him. I mean, he's another Kingdom Hearts fan, just like Henry, and it just sucks to see him go, since I feel like he had like a lot of stuff to talk about from all these genres of games
man.
and stuff.
He was very, very well spoken, very well versed in games. I mean, I love the conversations we have. I mean, we're talking like he's dead.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he may come back.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning of next year. We don't know. But we're rooting for him.
Yeah.
We're rooting for him. Cam, if you're out there, buddy, we love you. We respect you, and keep on gaming.
Hell yeah, man. Keep it going. I know like life's been hectic recently for you, but hopefully it gets better for you. Just apart from that, just keep gaming. Let's see what kinds of games they're going to be playing. Maybe they might reveal Kingdom Hearts 4, maybe get you back as a special guest or something like that. But yeah, salute to Cam, even though he's not dead, but we know what we mean.
Yeah, most certainly he's not dead. Thank God.
I see people do that for like basketball or like sports in general, where they when someone gets injured, they send prayers up, Lord carry him now or something like that.
Oh yeah, I see
it's
that
just
all
like,
the time.
yo, he's not dead. Like, he's just injured. He'll come back. So same thing with Cam. So yeah, salute to you. You're always welcome back on the podcast. So yeah, so we're just me and Henry, just two of us doing this podcast. Let's get started with the first topic. Pretty bittersweet ending for a Game Informer magazine, and it's closing down after 33 years. It's been in publication for a while. They've made it's a gaming magazine basically, and they do like interviews or like tips and tricks, and I feel like back then it was more suitable for that time because there was like no internet, or the internet was very rarely used, so you had to like rely on these magazines to like get the news or learn about like the scoops in the industry and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it's closing down. I could have expected this to shut down, but it just happened so suddenly. And what I like about these Game Informer magazines is the cover arts of for these magazines. I feel like some of them are like cool. Like there's one for like Uncharted, BioShock, of course, like Final Fantasy. There's like a one with Mario on it. Same with Zelda, and it's like a monthly magazine. So like they're shutting down. They put out this statement on Twitter, and it's funny because when they put out the statement, for some reason they shut down the account, or they deactivated it. So like
they shut down everything.
So like that was dumb just to like shut down the account, because I mean it doesn't cost money to run the account, right? Unless it's verified, but they could have just kept the account up so people could see like the message that they put out. But I don't know if it's the message, if they reactivated it, but I just remember people talking about it. But I wasn't really into Game Informer like that. I had some of the magazines, like I have some of them during like the PS3 era, and I think there was also one like man, Game Informer goes so back. Like there was one of like Noctis with Final Fantasy versus 13 when that first got like unveiled. And this was like was like in 2008 or 2009, I think, where like he was like on the cover art for like a Game Informer magazine. So a lot of the old ones are, I mean, I like how they look. It's just like a retro style. It gives you like memories of how it was back then. But before I hand it off to Henry to see if you want to send his condolences as well to the Game Informer magazine. This was also with GameStop, so if you had like a GameStop Pro subscription, they gave you the magazine for free, I believe.
It was for free.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like this whole thing, and GameStop is like, they might be next because nobody really goes to GameStop like that, or like they're not selling a lot. But Yeah, it's just unfortunate to see Game Informer shut down. Do you have any memories, Henry, of Game Informer? Have you ever had any of these magazines ever?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because like I'm an old, decrepit old fart.
Yeah.
Like I have physical print media. But it like you said, it came along with every GameStop Pro membership, and so like back in the day, GameStop was the definitive place to go to resell games and get the best bang for your buck. And so why wouldn't you, if you were a gamer, especially an avid gamer, why wouldn't you have a GameStop Pro membership? Obviously times have changed, but Game Informer came bundled in along with that. And not only that, but Game Informer, I think is like, I think it's fair to say it's a pillar in the gaming industry. I mean, it's been around for so long, and it used to be commanding in its authority. There were games, I'd have to go back and look at the exact ones, but there were games that specifically, like, they had exclusive publishing rights to like reveal the game and talk about it.
Right.
Like they had, they'd be like, oh, well, we want to show it off at a conference or something like that, and they'd be like, heck no, you're not. Like, we're Game Informer, and if you want it on our magazine, like if you want the cover, if you want the main article, then you have to do what we say. And like that's crazy to even think of a print media magazine doing that nowadays. But or really anybody, because everybody just directly advertises their games now. But Game Informer still had a lot of really cool stuff going on for being a print media. I mean, print media has really struggled, and really just media in general, it's really struggled to survive over the past decade or so. The internet's obviously changed a lot in how we gather our information and disperse it, and Game Informer really still had a lot of iconic covers. You go back through and look at some of that art, and it's iconic art. It's all great. It's all iconic and fun to look at. I knew a friend who actually cut off all of the covers of his Game Informers and plastered them on his wall.
Yeah, people do that with magazines. Like inside, they just cut it out and just paste it onto their room or something.
Yeah, and I was like, this is honestly pretty sick, because those covers were just so cool. But 33 years, obviously a very long time to go. It's sad to see it go, but let's be real. I mean, everybody's saying it's sad, but like, who the frick was reading this anymore? Like, who really was paying attention to what Game Informer was doing? Probably not that many, and that's probably why GameStop shuttered it. I will say this is really, I mean, just another bad optics for GameStop move. I'm honestly surprised that Game Informer didn't get shut down earlier, to be quite frank. But the way GameStop handled this was absolutely horrific. It was crazy to see, like, it just got shut down just out of nowhere one day, and nobody knew it was happening. Like, even the journalists that work at Game Informer, they all went to Twitter pretty much immediately and were like, oh, we didn't know this was happening. Like, I guess I don't have a job anymore. And like, that's always the worst way to close anything down. And then, you were talking about like their Twitter account got shut down, and then even their forums. All of their forums got completely shuttered as well on the exact same day. So like everything Game Informer wise got completely closed without anybody having any recourse into recording it or, like checking it out one last time, saying goodbye, any of those things. It just vanished. So, GameStop, yet another horrific optical move for them to do this. Like, it really wouldn't have cost them much to like leave the servers open for the forum for a few months or something like that. So just GameStop doing another GameStop move. But Game Informer still has a solid place in my heart for when I did look at those old print magazines. But I think it is time that it got put out to pasture, unfortunately. And hopefully everybody who lost their jobs can find footing elsewhere.
Right. I don't know. It sucks to see like physical print media like this dying out, and it's weird because like I feel like books are a different type of like physical media where like I think just like reading books is just like more popular than ever, honestly. But then you see like I think magazines are just dying out, and it's just like I wonder what's going on. But I do wonder if there's like a world where like a Game Informer continues on, probably in the future there might be like a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter for this, where people just put in money and then they just get this type of magazine, because I think like this magazine is fun to look at. Like I've had a couple of them. And it's just I like reading through them, but it's weird because it's not something I would do like every month. So I wonder if they could do it quarterly or something if it does come back, which I don't think so, because you got to do the interviews, you got to get the scoops, you got to print it out, all print and stuff like that. But yeah, so RIP to Game Informer. Sucks to see another physical media die out, and we don't know what's next. I don't know if you think games are next, physical games are next, where yeah, I think they might be next, but we'll see.
And on you brought up an interesting point there, Alexis. You know, could it go to Kickstarter or Patreon or something like that? There are other avenues for this kind of thing. MinMax, if you've ever heard of MinMax, is now like an up and coming YouTube channel that does a lot of game reporting and stuff. It's from ex Game Informer people. So some of them left Game Informer, probably saw it was a sinking ship and tried to get off, and have been doing a lot of really great interviews in like a video format, which is probably where this kind of content is going to go. And then, from a Kickstarter perspective, I actually would highly recommend A Profound Waste of Time. I love those. You said it's fun to, you enjoyed flipping through Game Informer and stuff like that.
Cool.
A Profound Waste of Time is easily what that is. So A Profound Waste of Time is a yearly like almost art book / interview series, and they'll interview like the creator of Katamari Damacy was a big article they had, and Resident Evil and Shadow of the Colossus, like the directors and people behind all of those games, Tim Schafer, and they'll have great art and great interviews and really interesting topics, and I would highly recommend that series as well. So there will definitely be avenues for this in the future, but I just wanted to shout those out for what they were.
Oh yeah, good shout outs to them. Yeah, so RIP to Game Informer again. So I got nothing else to say except the art looks cool. So if you wanna, some of the arts, like I would like to like print them out and just paste them on my wall, like if there's any way to get them. So I had to do some research on that. So let's get into this next one. Jonathan Blow, he says that Braid Anniversary Edition has sold like dog shit. So.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Blow, he's like, I feel like he's very hot-headed, honestly.
He's very opinionated, very well-spoken in his opinions for sure.
He's not afraid to speak on what's his mind.
Yes.
So it was like this whole thing. So Braid Anniversary Edition is like a remaster of a game that came out in 2008. It includes like new stuff like interactive commentary track with like commentary, and other brand new features as well, like, updated graphics and stuff like that. Was it you that played this, I think?
I played it a long time ago. Yeah. When it got ported to PS3, I think.
I know somebody played it. I don't know if anybody played it. Was it Cam that played it? I'm not sure.
Are you talking about Anniversary Edition? No, I don't think any of us played it.
I think someone might have drafted it, actually. Never mind. So
I drafted it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Yeah. So it's like this whole thing. He's talking about like how the game hasn't sold well, and it's funny because in this article, it includes like a video of Jonathan Blow, and it goes through like a timeline of like different dates of him of him talking shit about the sales or something. And it's funny because like in the first clip he says it was 6 days after the Anniversary Edition launched. He was unsure of like how it performed, so he's like, it's a little too early to judge. We'll see how it goes. We're not sure. It's a remaster. We'll just have to see where it goes. And then like a month later, he's like, the game is sold horribly or something. So it's just like it just keeps going down and down. And after like 2 months, he's like, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's dog shit. So it's like this whole thing with this guy. I've listened to a couple of interviews with him. He's an interesting character, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with
that. And it's weird because this is a remaster. It's just like, I don't know if anybody was looking for a remaster of this game. Like, it's so...
No.
I mean, it was stuck on the PS3, right? So...
Xbox Live, I think, and PS3.
Okay, so, I mean, it makes sense, but it's just like... it's just a game that it came out at a good time in 2008 where people were experimenting. They're still experimenting at that time. So like when when people are very critical of remasters these days, they look at a remaster of a game and they honestly think that, oh, it doesn't deserve it. So it makes sense why the sales are like very low, and I don't really see anybody talking about this. So I mean, it reviewed well, honestly. It was like very high scores of,
Yeah, very, very high
yeah.
scores.
For some reason, it got an 86 on the PS5 and the Xbox got a 92. So it's just like, interesting. But yeah, it's still reviewed high. So it's just like, it was probably just the marketing and stuff like that, or people are just not interested in remasters of like a game that just was released recently. So that's all I can say. I mean, Jonathan Blow's interesting. He'll talk shit if he wants to. So, you mean about his own game? So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's all I gotta say about this.
Yeah, he's definitely interesting. He can get very angry at times,
Oh yeah,
and very very aggressive with his wording on some things. And he's definitely been very outspoken on some of his like political beliefs in the past, and a lot of people don't like him because of that. I'd say he's very smart. Like, I mean, he's made Braid and The Witness, which are both very highly regarded puzzle games, and like he streams on Twitch, like his game development, and that's like where the clips that Alexis is referring to comes from. And like he'll talk about just programming, and he's very outspoken on how he feels about you know the industry as technology and coding and stuff like that. I think he's very intelligent. It's just like he's an auteur, I guess, in that way. It's very funny. He's like Alexis was saying, like that video it's just comical. It's it's the progression of him being like, oh well, yeah, maybe it'll be good. We'll see. We have high hopes, and then by the end he's like, well, like this was an abysmal failure, and just that slow progression is just absolutely funny to see, and how open he is about it. Because most people wouldn't come out and tell you that about a game that they made, and in all honesty, I think Braid Anniversary Edition is way more than a remaster. I mean, not only did it have audio commentary from the developers on how to, design and make the game, but it also had extra levels, a good number of extra levels, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So there was certainly content that was worth purchasing in this game, especially if you're a fan. But I genuinely think that we have different expectations for what an indie game is nowadays. Like, this is a game that was in the right place at the right time. I think you can really attribute Braid to being the godfather of indie games. It was like the first indie game that really had a massive success. Like Soulja Boy played Braid, which you don't see every day.
That's crazy.
And it's very funny. If you go on YouTube, if you just search Jonathan Blow, it's just funny. Like, like we've said, he's just a character. But one of my favorite videos of him is a video titled Jonathan Blow sitting in a dark room crying because Soulja Boy didn't understand Braid. And it's literally like Jonathan Blow saying like he went into like several months of depression because people didn't take the meaning of Braid correctly, and it shows like Soulja Boy, like the juxtaposition of Soulja Boy playing it, and he's like, this game, nothing, it doesn't mean anything, you just jump around, he's just a little guy, and like Jonathan Blow crying about it. It's just hilarious. But I think, without Braid, we wouldn't, I don't think without Braid, but I think like Braid was the initial kickoff for like the indie scene on Xbox Live Arcade, and now we have indie games that are, it's hard to even justify what an indie game is, and I think we'll talk about that later in the podcast, but like we have, Disco Elysium is a indie game, like that's crazy to even think about, like it's the
Helldivers.
Hollow Knight.
Helldivers 2 is an indie game. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, absolutely wouldn't say that. I would say something like Hollow Knight is an indie game, but those games are considered some of the best games ever made, like in certain circles. I don't think Braid would ever be considered that now. I think if Braid came out now, you'd completely forget about it or really you probably never even hear about it. So like there's just too many games out and too many quality games out, and the ceiling for what is considered a good game is really, really high. So I think Braid is just no one cares about it anymore. I think it's unfortunate. It had a place in history at the time, but I just don't think it does anymore, and that's why nobody bought it. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
And developers are just getting better at making games, and that's the thing with like almost anything in life, like just bringing it back to sports again. Like back in the 2008 era of like, let's say like basketball, that was like a whole different type of era, and some of those players, they wouldn't last in the era today because it's just a different type of play style and stuff. And that makes sense with like indie games. Like Hollow Knight's like the evolution of like what's a Metroidvania and stuff like that, and now like Animal Well, like, and stuff like that. What are some other like really good indie games? Like Vampire Survivors, right? It's like what is that genre called anyway? It's like survival, or
it's like reverse bullet heck.
Bullet hell. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just developers are getting better over time. They're just learning from like the older games and stuff like that. Even though Braid's like a classic, it's just people are not ready for. Why not just make like another Braid, or just, I don't know. It's just like just remastering like games that just came out like not too long ago. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I mean, even though there's like a lot of new stuff added to it, it makes sense why it didn't sell that well. Too many games too as well. There's too many damn games to play that are worth our time, instead of playing remasters of games that we already know that we're gonna like. So yeah. So shout out to Jonathan Blow for giving us those quotes right there. Yeah. Next article of this is a crazy one. So, and this game doesn't come out till like a couple months later, is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The full campaign, as well as gameplay of it, the cutscenes in it just got leaked. And the reason it got leaked, right, is that since the game is coming out on last gen consoles, people were able to jailbreak like the beta, or like the closed beta they had, and like the closed beta had the whole game on it. So like the PS4 jailbreakers were able to get like everything in the campaign.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
they posted the cutscenes online. They got DMCA'd like on Twitter and stuff, so you're not able to like find it. But if you search hard enough, you'll be able to find it, because like once it's up, it's gonna be up forever. So if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find it. And you know, I might look up the campaign cutscenes, because I don't feel like I'm gonna be playing this. I just want to see how it looks like and how it's gonna be. So I know I might be part of the problem, but it doesn't really matter. I just find it crazy that the campaign got leaked, of like all the cutscenes and stuff like that. And the reason was because it was on last gen consoles. And I think this is a sign that, you know, it's time to like leave the PS4 and the Xbox One behind, and just stop making games for those consoles, because the people on those consoles are playing like free to play games, or they're playing sports games, honestly. Because when God of War Ragnarok came out, right? There's like this whole thing. When Ragnarok came out, there was more sales in the PS5 and the PS4, even though the PS5 had like way less consoles. It's just that the people who buy the new consoles are going to buy those new games. And the people on the older consoles, they will buy it, but it's just they're less likely to buy like these newer games and stuff like that, because the people on the PS4, they're just playing like Overwatch and stuff like that, or you know, like Apex, or they're playing like the new NBA or Madden or FIFA, whatever. And
I think the term you're looking for is the casual audience.
Yeah, there you go.
Is still on PS4.
Yeah, I don't like using that word, because there's some people that get offended by it. Like some of my friends, they pulled up to me like, "You calling me like a casual?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just that you just not into these other games and stuff like that, which is fine, honestly." So
I get that.
yeah, so it's just crazy that this whole campaign got leaked. I do want to watch them, even though like that's kind of bad. But would you be doing the same about this? And I want to know your thoughts on this, because I know you're not a really huge Call of Duty fan, but would you look into the campaign cutscenes ever? Because I like the story of Black Ops, honestly. It's like interesting.
Okay, so that I was actually going to ask you about that. So I have an on and off relationship with Call of Duty, and I only play the campaigns because I suck at multiplayer, as we've established. So I just actually recently played, I think I briefly mentioned it on the podcast, the original Black Ops, because it was considered to be like one of the better first-person shooter campaigns from Call of Duty in the series, and I was just like feeling a first-person shooter, like action-packed, nonstop campaign, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. But I have not played many other, if not any other. I think I maybe played one other Black Ops campaign, and I really didn't like it at all. But I think that was like it was a free PlayStation Plus game, and it was known to not be a very good campaign. But the point is like I have more of an experience with the Advanced Warfare storyline. The problem is that I don't understand, like, even though I've played several of the Advanced Warfare games, I don't understand the story half the time where I'm like playing it. It's not often very well communicated to the player. I just know that like I don't a constant thing I have with freaking Advanced Warfare fans or just Call of Duty fans is how they think Ghost is a really good character. I'm not talking about Call of Duty Ghosts. I'm talking about the character Ghost.
He is, though.
He is a good character. Dude, I just know him as a dude with a mask. That's like it.
That was the thing back then.
He didn't
like if you.
I know he was huge.
Yeah.
He was gigantic, but like he didn't do anything. Like I even went back and replayed that game after that, and I was like, "Nah, dude, he didn't do anything.
It was
He
sad,
just looks cool." He dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But like he doesn't do anything prior to that. He just is a guy with a cool skull mask.
Yeah.
That's like it. So like, I mean, if that's what makes him a cool character, I get it. But like, I feel like I need more there. I need more meat to my character bones. But anyway, the point is like, you seem to be a bit more familiar with the Black Ops story.
Yeah.
Is there a good Black Ops story going on here? Because obviously I've only played the first one. So like, would that be something I even need to understand or be able to understand if I jump into Black Ops 6?
So it's weird because it's Black Ops 6, but there's no Black Ops 5, right? Actually, the story starts at World at War. So there's like a couple characters from Call of Duty World at War that move on to Black Ops 1, which is kind of vital, honestly. So you play World at War, plays World War II, and there's some characters in there that are in Black Ops 1. And then Black Ops 1 happens. It's like this whole thing. And then Black Ops 2. So these three games are connected. And then Black Ops 3, right? It takes place like 2070 or something, so it's like so far along in the future, and
I think that's the one I played. Yeah, it was a future,
and
one.
It has like no correlation, but it's still a part of that universe. So like, it's just all the characters are dead because it's like so far in the future, and like the Black Ops 3 happens because of Menendez or something from Black Ops 2 because he has like this whole campaign and stuff, and like he wants to build this world, and then Black Ops 3 is a result of that. And then Black Ops 4 is weird because it has no campaign. So it has no correlation. So it's just like some only multiplayer thing.
Yeah, I remember
and then to wrap it up, Cold War, which is Black Ops 5, it's like it happens after Black Ops 1. So like it happens in the timeline after Black Ops 1 because it's during the Cold War, and then Black Ops 1's the Vietnam War. So it's like this whole thing. Because they went back in time because there's no way to go forward, because I think Black Ops 2 was like the end of the story, honestly. And then right now Black Ops 6, they're bringing it back, so it's after Cold War. So it's like this whole thing is confusing. But
I was about to say this is way more in depth than I would have ever expected a Call of Duty story to be.
It's interesting though,
based on what I've played.
Yes. It's interesting though.
Yeah.
Because you said that you didn't like Advanced Warfare, right?
I didn't like the story there. No, I didn't think it was communicated well.
That is weird because that's a standoff game, so that it's not correlated to any of the Call of Duty games. So it's just like this whole thing. It's like this own story, basically, like a Final Fantasy, right? So it's like its own story. But like Black Ops, it's like continuous, and I guess they want to continue it, the lore and stuff.
Do they not have an Advanced Warfare 2 and an Advanced Warfare 3 and all that other stuff?
No, it ended right there because people didn't like it. They hated the jump packs.
Really?
Yeah, when this came out, everybody hated the jump packs. Or the jetpacks, my bad.
Oh, I'm not talking Advanced. I'm talking Modern Warfare. Oh my
Modern
gosh,
Warfare?
that was okay. Excuse me, Modern Warfare. My bad. I've never played an Advanced Warfare game.
Oh, okay. So, what the fuck? Okay, so then that changes everything then. So
my bad.
okay.
Yeah, that's very different. I apologize.
Yeah. because I played like all the older campaigns because they're interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were good too. Yeah, but I didn't think the story was, but I love the action, the set pieces. That's like what I'm in for a Call of Duty.
the characters
game.
too.
Absolutely.
Did you don't like any of the characters?
I not really.
Wow.
I mean, like I know Captain Price is there. And Soap, yeah, whatever makes Soap cool, I guess. Captain Price is British, and he has a cool mustache and a nice hat.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as interested I am in Captain Price, but he's there a good bit.
It's so good. It's so good.
For you. Again, I just care about seeing things go boom.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
that is the draw for me in Call of Duty campaigns. Like the story has never been much for me.
Wow. Because the Modern Warfare campaign is like the British versus Americans, basically, and the Russians as well. So it's like this three-way tie. So like they're constantly going at each other. That was like the older games. I don't know about the new Modern Warfares. I don't know how that works because I know they're like.
I think it's just the same thing.
It is, but then I saw like some of how they portrayed some of them because it's like a reboot. Like the no Russian scene, they fucked it up. It's like no, they just didn't do it justice, or the betrayal of Shepard or whatever.
I think they were just trying to avoid controversy again.
Oh yeah,
like, they still don't live that down to this day. Yeah, No Russian.
I remember that.
Which for those that don't know, No Russian is the opening scene of Advanced Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2.
Where you, excuse me. Oh my gosh, thank you. Modern Warfare 2. That you start off the game as like a Russian like spy, or you're spying on the Russians, but you're working with the Russians, and you just literally open fire in like an airport.
So good.
And this was still like fairly soon after 9/11, like enough for people to not be happy about that at all. So like there was even an option to skip that. Because you like literally all you're doing is just mowing down innocent civilians, just watching like. I think you do have the option of not shooting anybody, but come on, you're gonna shoot somebody.
Yeah,
come on.
And it's just the campaigns are so good. Like I wish they remaster like the older ones because they're just so good. Like how they play out.
What do you mean they did? They remastered Advanced Warfare, or you mean, oh my gosh, Modern Warfare 1 and 2. I know. I
platinumed them too.
There you go.
I'm just waiting for the third one because the third one ties everything up. So, yeah, we'll see. That's enough Call of Duty talk. So,
I will not be watching the cutscenes.
Oh yeah,
I will probably play the campaign though because it's free for Game Pass. So
you know what? Yeah, I'll just wait. So, next one, talking about last gen consoles. This just came out of nowhere. Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order for Star Wars, is coming to last gen consoles. It's being priced at $50, so you don't have to pay full price for it. And apparently it's already been reviewed. So yeah, interesting. 10 out of 10. What the hell? But
no shot. I highly doubt that.
It says right here.
No way.
France and CG Magazine, Game Informer. We're talking about 9.25 out of 10. Just stellar reviews.
Review.
Yeah.
Paid review.
Wow, this
corruption in the system.
Yeah, right. I wonder who's gonna buy it though. That's the thing. I'm interested in the sales because it's been a whole year since it came out on the PS5 and series. So I wonder who will buy it.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up, Alexis, because I think that this ties really closely into what we were just talking about at Black Ops 6. And I meant to talk about it, but we just got derailed onto how I forget what the difference between Advanced Warfare and Modern Warfare is. Yeah. But it's this huge market of people on previous consoles. I mean, like that's why. It's the Jedi Survivor honestly does seem like a pretty good option to bring back because Star Wars is just such a massive IP. There are casual people who don't really care about video games but really care about Star Wars who are definitely going to pick this up.
Yeah.
I think it'll sell millions of copies. Maybe not millions, but definitely enough to justify the investment of porting it to a previous gen console, no doubt. I think we saw studies, I think from or not studies, but stats from the Insomniac leak that so many people still play on previous consoles. PS4, I think actually Sony was very open about it, that like still like I think 50% or more of their audience is still on previous gen consoles. And like you were saying, it's just people playing these free-to-play games like Fortnite and Overwatch and, maybe getting Call of Duty or a sports game every once in a while. But like there's still, that's where that audience, a lot of it is.
Right.
It's just not, they're not putting probably as much money in there, but there's still an active audience that you can still sell to. And I think Jedi Survivor definitely fits that mold. As somebody who played Jedi Survivor on PS5, the reason I say that is there is no shot that game is a 10 out of 10. It's because that game is still so broken on PS5
Still.
technically that there is no way that it is running any better on a PlayStation 4. If anything, it is running so much worse on a PlayStation 4 that there's no way that somebody can give that game a 10 out of 10 because that game is going to be a train wreck at launch. There's no way around it. I don't think it'll ever be fixed because the PS5 version hasn't been fixed. So, I mean, it's crazy to me that they decided to do this because clearly they could, the current gen consoles couldn't handle it. So, previous gen is totally it's just going to be a dumpster fire.
You gotta imagine they optimize it, right? Like,
even I don't think you can. If they can't optimize it for a current gen console, I don't think they can optimize it for something way less powerful. It's just there's no way. They have to take something away, and by that it's probably going to be performance and graphics. And even then, I don't think it'll work still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with what you said about it's selling a lot because of Star Wars and people of that how do you say it, that demographic are usually they're not into like gaming and stuff like that, so like they usually probably have a PS4 or something lying around, so they might just pick it up. So million sales though, that's gonna be tough, because
I think it may be tough. Yeah,
I mean, if it didn't cost that much to make, it's a good investment, honestly. Just not interested in this at all, but it's still just funny to see it coming out, because I remember it was leaked last year that it was coming to PS4 or something, and I guess now we're seeing it. So $50 US dollars. So if you want to pick it up, there you go. But we'll see. Just wait, because like Henry said, it might just be broken. It most likely will be broken. So it'll be interesting to see how it is. So yeah, September 17th this year. So in about a month. Get ready. Next thing, interesting drop. So apparently Square Enix announced that the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, they're going to be getting a re-release for the physical copies for the anniversary edition. So it's been a year, almost a year since the Pixel Remasters came out. And if you remember last year when these came out, it was released like at the pre-orders opened for the physical copies like at 1 a.m. or something, and like they sold out quick. You had to buy them in the Square Enix store as well, so like you had to pay for shipping and all them taxes and all that stuff. So it was like a lot of money. So now it's getting re-released. So it was like I had a little bit of hope. So like for me, I think for these kind of games, I want a physical copy of it because apparently it runs all on the cartridge and the disc, so you don't have to like download some updates or whatever. So yeah, it's coming out October 8th, 2024. And I remember Cam talking about he didn't want to hold out for a physical re-release, so he bought the digital copies of these games. And kind of sucks for him to see this happening because
Cam.
Yeah, this cuz
sucks to be you.
And it's for the PS4 and Switch, by the way. But they're like on all local retailers and stuff like that. Like I saw on Amazon, so you can pre-order it. It also comes with the sticker sheet, so it comes with 12 characters.
Stickers.
Yeah, stickers. So pretty cool. And apparently it hasn't been sold out yet, so I guess they're ready for the physical copies. They paid attention to the people wanting a physical copy, and you can just go ahead and pre-order now. And right now I'm debating whether I should order it. Because it's still full price, $75. So it's a lot of money for like very old games, but
yeah.
I just want a physical copy of this because I'm a huge fan of the series, so just like something that I can have in my collection. So maybe, because I know there's also physical copies for FF7 and FF8 on the PS4. Actually, just 8, I believe. On the Switch, you can get 7 and 8 on the cartridge. Yeah, you can get like a disc copy of 8 for the PS4. Same with the Switch. The Switch, I think, has every Final Fantasy game like on the cartridge, which is funny, except like 13, of course, and the new ones. Yeah, so pretty cool to see this re-release. I'm not sure if you would plan on picking this up, Henry. Are you? Wait, did you buy these games? I don't know if you.
Nah, I haven't bought these. They're still too expensive. They
Yeah,
never go on
they
sale.
were just on sale right now on the PSN for like $60. So it's
yeah,
still a
see,
lot
but
though.
that's the thing. It's still a lot.
I mean, that's $10
Like,
a game.
it's $10 a game,
Yeah.
but like these are again like really old games, and I just am not sure I'm going to enjoy them as much. Like
I feel you on that.
Cam played them from a historical perspective, and I think that's where I would play them from too. Is like I would just play them because obviously Final Fantasy is like a massive IP that like is still very prevalent and very historical within the industry now, and like I'd love to be kind of understanding on that, but I definitely, I mean, I can't say I'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah.
They're just probably too old at this point. I'd need way more quality of life improvements to really push me along. So I physical release doesn't really do anything for me here. What's going to move the needle is it just dropping in price. So that's kind of my perspective on it.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully the physical copies they don't sell out because I do want one. But man, full price, that shit sucks. So it's just like damn, because I don't even plan on playing it right away because I still have like some other games I'd rather get into. And you're right, because you're not sure if you're gonna enjoy it because these are older games, and even though they did like remaster it, I guess, put some quality of life changes to it, you just don't know how it's gonna be. Because I'm just used to like the remakes, because like 7 Remake is just phenomenal. And it's just like I want a remakes of like these older games. I want to see how they would like tackle it. Like this could be like a topic for like another day, but there's like some games like I want Final Fantasy X to get like remade, like a remake. Not like 7, like make it into parts, but like make the graphics better, the voice acting make it like superb. Cuz there's like fucking Final, you play Final Fantasy X, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I was just watching some of the cutscenes like these past couple of days, and just like Orin, like I fucking love Orin, and
Of course, he's super
man, and then there's like so much intent. It's just like if this gets a remake, man, it's gonna feed families. Honestly, it's just like I need it now. So yeah, I know 6 is in the conversation for like a remake, but that's a lot of work because there's like a lot of characters in that game. Like it's gonna be tough. So like, yeah, just play these Pixel Remasters if you want to experience these older games. So shout out to Square Enix for learning and putting these physical re-releases. They're starting to learn now, instead of making it limited for some reason. So just a little cool drop for that. And our last topic for the day, Bungie. There's like this whole conversation with Bungie and Sony, and there's a lot to go over. But the main thing is that they lay off 220 employees, and they're starting to create new studios within Sony. I don't know if you wanna tackle this, Henry. If you wanna like get started with like the beginning and just like move our way down, if you can.
Yeah, because this is just such a meaty one. I mean, there's so much that came out with this announcement of how they're restructuring Bungie yet again. That it's really hard to just like go through all of it because you just get lost in the sauce. So we'll start from the top. So there were 220 layoffs at Bungie. So 220 people got laid off. An additional 155 people were moved to other Sony Interactive Entertainment positions. So probably dispersed within, other studios that are making games for them. So they're retaining that talent, but Bungie is not keeping them and developing with them. And then an extra 75 were moved to create a new internal studio. So that is not under Bungie, it is under Sony Interactive Entertainment, but using Bungie's personnel. So that's like the first kind of the high level overview here. Um, the new internal studio is going to work on a game that is codenamed Gummy Bears currently, and it's going to be, from what I understand, like a MOBA mobile game. So I'm not particularly interested in that. I don't even know if I don't know. I don't even know if Bungie would be particularly good at that. But I guess I'll start that off and I'll throw that to you, Alexis. If you have any interest in an internal studio made MOBA game by Bungie personnel, what do you think about that?
I'm just not a huge fan of MOBAs. Like,
Yeah.
man, it's just hard to get into, and they take a lot of time to learn. And like the most popular
Mm-hmm.
ones are like League of Legends or like Dota, right?
Dota. Yeah.
And like those are like the huge ones, and you have like smaller ones like like Pokemon. I'm not even sure what else, right? Because those are the ones that people are like gravitate towards, and they learn. Because man, they're just like life service games, right? You just gotta learn and
Very
learn and
much, yeah.
learn. It's like new heroes, stuff like that, and we'll see how it goes. Because you never know with any of these like live service games. Like it could just blow up, like like Valorant. Like Valorant just blew up. People were like, "Oh, it's a Counter-Strike ripoff. Fuck that." But then people played it, like, "Oh wait, this is actually kind of good." Um, it might work, but it's probably going to be like a PC only game because like MOBAs on console are just hard to play, I guess, or if they even exist at all, right? So
Mm-hmm.
with this, yeah, I'm not really interested at all, like zero interest. So
Yeah. And I don't even know if like Bungie has the experience to even create a good MOBA game slash a mobile game. I wouldn't want, that's not what I would put Bungie personnel on, but it is what it is. Um, Next is the game. There was a game that Bungie was working on that was canceled as part of these layoffs. Two veterans that are well known within Bungie have done a lot with like bringing up Destiny 2 and making it what it was. They left. I think there was a lot of confusion around the reporting on this. Like Jeff Grubb did a lot of this initial reporting, and he reported that they were let go or they were given generous severance packages and so on and so forth for leaving. And then he clarified later, oh well, they left on their own accord. It was a voluntary leave. It wasn't a firing. So
interesting.
they were, everybody who left got a or was fired was given a generous severance package. So that's probably what he was referring to and where the confusion stemmed from. But anyways, two of those guys were like, okay, we can't make the game we wanted to make. We don't like where the studio is going, so we just leave. So that's already a huge loss for Bungie here because a lot of what Sony even bought them for in the first place was their talent. These guys are like very talented first-person shooter developers and very talented, or we can debate that in a minute, but very talented live service development team as well. So they were working on a game called Payback. It was a third-person Genshin Impact kind of like is inspired title. So it was in the early production phases. It was a part of the Destiny universe, and it's completely shelved. I don't think they'll ever go back to that because the two leads on it are gone. So that's probably just, if anybody was looking forward to that, then it's dead in the water. Pass that off to you,
Yeah.
Alexis, if that piqued your interest at all.
So, I mean, I like Genshin Impact when I did play it. Like, I was really into it. Like, I made like a lot of progress into it. But then, like, they kept adding updates and kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, I just fell off of it. But I didn't hate it. I liked it. And the thing with Genshin Impact, right? The reason why it's popular is because of like the anime style, right? And like the characters and how they look and stuff. Like they're like attractive
Yeah,
characters.
very.
They're like
Mm-hmm.
eye candy basically. And for like Destiny, you don't really get that, right? But the gameplay loop would have to be similar to Genshin Impact, where you're fighting big bosses. You're fighting, there's like raids and stuff like that. There's like the open world and stuff like that. Um, it's weird because I'm not sure how that works because it's third person. You're using guns, most likely using guns, right? Or like abilities. Um,
Oh, I would think it definitely
and
is that.
The Destiny universe doesn't really capture me compared to like Genshin. Like Genshin, like the style like interests me. Like, oh, I'll check it out. I mean, it looks cool. But Destiny just doesn't really motivate me to play the games, right? And the Genshin Impact style of that type of game, it would be interesting, but it's just how would it work though? That's the thing. And Genshin Impact is like lightning in a bottle. It's just like I don't see any other game doing that because you have other games like that are like Genshin, right? Um, I think one called Wuthering Waves, I believe just came out, or some other one. It's like Tower in the Sky or something. Whereas is it?
I can tell you one, Zenless Zone Zero.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but that's like
made by the same
yeah,
people. Yeah.
that's their own thing. That's yeah. So yeah, it is that kind of like type of game. But man, for this, it sucks we can't see how it was gonna look like because you never know. But yeah, it probably was canceled in early development. That's why we never saw any of it. So yeah, that's all I have to say on it.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on because, again, we got a lot to go through here. So next is Marathon. Will continue in development with 800 people working on it currently. A huge part of this was I was like, dang, why Bungie had this many people around? Like, when you think about how many people need to be involved in a development studio, I mean, like, clearly Bungie was working with at least 1,300 people currently, and that is after layoffs earlier or late last year. Like, there was already a layoff of 8% in October. So like, Bungie is massive, and it's very surprising to me to hear that they have so many people. Like, the overhead on this studio just paying salaries has got to be insane, and all they've made is Destiny, and that's all they've been making for a really long time. Speaking of which, Destiny 2's development will continue, but it will also be pared back significantly. So what normally happens in Destiny 2, if you're not familiar or you don't follow Destiny 2, is Destiny 2 has basically like these massive events or massive like expansion packs, more or less. Like Last Light was the most... Last Light was the second to last one. Final Shape was the most recent one, and the final one. And so, like, in those, like, there's normally massive changes to the game and huge story events that take place, and it's a paid expansion that people have to pay for, and then they get to access that content and move forward. It's kind of like if you've ever played an MMO, it's like an expansion to an MMO, or any game really is kind of how I would liken it to. But they basically said, like, this is not what we're going to do anymore. Like, we are going to move on to smaller, consistent updates within the game. So these massive changes, these massive events are basically completely off the table, which I think is, I mean, like, honestly, I think that's fine because that's how almost every live service game operates. And I think that it's unfortunate because Destiny 2 has conditioned people to, you know, like, expect these massive things. I think the community of Destiny, which apparently is already not doing very well, is probably not going to be very happy with hearing those changes because that's not what they're used to. So I don't know how that really translates to user retention, or if people are going to appreciate that at all. But clearly Destiny 2's model is changing. I don't know if either one of those points resonate with you, Alexis.
Yeah, right. So we'll get back on the Marathon, right?
Yeah.
So with Marathon and Destiny 2, that's like two huge games that they'll have to focus on. And it's just like, I mean, they have 800 working on it. It's like a lot. That's like a lot of resources right there, right? And then you also have to work on Destiny because you also have that core fan of Destiny fans. And with Marathon, you got to build it up. You got to build the fan base, see if you get new fans get into the series. And there's like another live service game that they're going to have to like employ employees to work on, constantly update and stuff like that. And the thing with Destiny, right? You said that it conditioned the players with like these updates and stuff like that, about the content and stuff like that. And the thing is with Destiny, right? So, because there might be plans for Destiny 3, I'm not sure, but with Destiny 2, right? I mean, the only way that you're gonna get new people onto Destiny 2 is like with these, it's just making it more, I don't know, appealing, right? Like there's like so many DLCs for Destiny 2 that it makes it hard to like keep up and keep track, and like you just get overwhelmed. And that's why I feel like a Destiny 3 will help revitalize like the series, even if it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, that's all I have to say on this. Like Destiny
Yeah.
is just like this franchise, just like you had to be there from the beginning to like understand it, and it's tough. I know some of my friends who were really huge into Destiny, they just fell off it. All right, and I think a Destiny 3 will help bring him back for sure. But yeah, that's all I have to say on it.
Well, here's the thing about that. There's a few things there, right? Because we now know confirmed Destiny 3 is not in production.
Yeah.
I think they've come out and straight up said
Yeah, it's
that.
not true.
So is that not
Yeah,
true?
it's not true. I think they had Jason Schreier or something. He says that Destiny 3 doesn't even exist at all. They haven't even worked on it. Like it's not a thing.
Oh, that's what I said. Yeah, it's not in active development at all. So Destiny 2 is all they got for a while.
Yeah.
So like there is no reset that's going to bring in players, and like I've toyed with the idea of going back to Destiny 2 and just seeing what's going on, but because I played the initial base campaign of Destiny 2 a long time ago, but like, and PlayStation Plus has given out the expansions as they go, a while after they've been released, so I have them. The problem is that now the base campaign and I think several of the expansions are not even accessible to you, like even in no way, even if you've paid for them or anything, because the game has progressed so long that content is just completely locked out. So like even if you wanted to go back and experience the game from the very beginning or see the story through or whatever the case is, get attached to these characters who are probably massive points of the story at this point, like you literally just can't, because the game has blocked off that content for any new players, or returning players for that matter. So like I would agree that like you really do need this new jumping off point for like that really signals to people, hey, you can come back, like like you can come back into Destiny, you won't be overwhelmed, you won't feel out of place, and they aren't doing that. I don't think they have the resources to do that.
They really
and I think, like you said, all hands really need to be on Marathon right now. From what we've heard, like Sony has this massive expectation for Marathon, and I don't blame them, because you pay what, 1.3 billion? Was it what? No, it's not one. I think it was 3.1 billion.
Couple billion for sure.
It was a massive amount, more than you pay for literally Star Wars. Like Disney bought Star Wars for a fraction of the price of what Sony bought Bungie.
Yeah, 3.6 billion.
And
so
3.6. Thank you for that correction. But like we were saying, a massive amount of money, and it is, you got to make your money back. Where are you making your money back? And we're going to get into it for a second, but Bungie hasn't made any money. They've come out and said, like, we haven't made anything, and what products do you have to make money with is literally Destiny 2, which has a declining player base and isn't making any money, and you have this Marathon game, which Sony is now pivoting to a lot of live service titles, like obviously like Helldivers 2 and Concord, and they have many other of these titles in development because they want one of these live service games to really stick, and Marathon is the one they were probably expecting that from. And it's I think we were talking before the podcast, like Jason Schreier even came out and said people within Bungie don't even think Marathon's looking very hot right now. They don't think it's looking like it's going to be a good game.
The sentiment is low.
So this is
from inside the studio at Bungie regarding Marathon. So
yeah,
doesn't look good, but we'll see how it is.
Yeah, no bueno. Do you have anything to attach to those statements I made, or are we moving on to the next point?
Did you talk about the money? Because I think you brought it up. How they're not making money, and
that was what I was going to get into
it.
at the next point. So we can do that. So cuts were planned planned prior to the release of the Final Shape expansion, which to note, was received very well, critically at the very least. I don't know how much it sold, but it was certainly critically well received, due to Bungie constantly missing its financial goals. So this came kind of off the backs of, like the October layoffs. So, like we mentioned earlier, Bungie lost 8% of its workforce in October, and that's because Bungie specifically said, "Hey, we missed revenue expectations by 45%, which is insane. That is really, really bad, especially when they had been this massive pillar, like we were just saying, that Sony had bought up, that was expecting, obviously, them to make a lot of money, and not only expecting them to make a lot of money, but they were also looking to them for expertise. We don't have this listed here, but The Last of Us Online was completely shelved because Bungie, who are supposed to be the gods of live service games, came in and said, "Hey, this sucks. Like, it's not gonna do what you want. Cut it. Kill this project." And they said, "Okay." Bungie says we should kill it. We're gonna kill it. And so, Bungie has made moves that probably they're not at this point qualified to say anymore. Yeah. And because of that, Sony basically, in their contract when they bought them up, they said, "Okay, we will give you so much rope." It was a ridiculous amount of freedom that they gave them. So they allowed them to basically work completely independently and publish on multiple platforms, which no other studio is allowed to do within Sony's entourage. And they said, we're going to be looking to you for all this expertise, but if you don't meet the financial goals that we, have in our contract, we will just gain complete authority over you. We will currently have, I think they had about 2 or 3 people on the board of Bungie, was part of the purchasing acquisition. And then, I think the CEO, Pete Parsons, was the tiebreaker vote. So obviously he would do whatever is best for Bungie, not what's best for Sony. Yeah. So Bungie still technically had full autonomy in a majority vote for the board. So they said, well, if that doesn't happen, we're basically just going to fully sweep your board. We're going to take over. We're going to you're going to lose all autonomy, and we're gonna take over. And that's essentially what's happened. So basically, if it doesn't already say by the fact that they've taken Bungie employees, made a new internal studio, taken another 155, put them throughout Sony's organization, the remainder of Bungie's employees now have no say. This is all just a Sony operation from here on out, and I think for good reason. Alexis, yeah. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, so with all that, it makes sense why they don't make money, because they're not gaining new fans with Destiny too. And a lot of people are just dropping off slowly, but you don't really see growth in the Destiny community, right? And I don't really see people hyping this game up, even though it might not be in my circle, right? I mean, the final shape, it reviewed well, right? And it just couldn't meet financial goals. I mean, that happens with a lot of games. They review well, but they just don't make the money, right? And that's the thing, because people are just not interested, or the audience isn't there, or it's different circumstances, right? We were talking about with Braid, right? It's a remaster of a game, reviewed well, but it's just wrong time, all that stuff. Same with Square Enix, right? Their games, they review kind of well, and they're received positively, but they just don't meet financial goals, or they don't sell a lot. So there's another case of that where nobody's playing Destiny too. It's just people are just falling off it, and stuff like that. And it's a good thing that Sony is stepping in and be yo, pick it up, or else we're gonna have to control you guys. And Bungie, they just self-sabotage Sony, right? Because I don't know, it might have been more than just Bungie's decision to stop The Last of Us Online, but Sony should have just let The Last of Us Online, just let it go. Let's see how it plays out for a year, and if it doesn't, we'll just shut down the game, right? Or put an offline mode, people can just buy and play NPC bots or something like that. And like, cause there was like when it got leaked, The Last of Us Online, they have like a full menu, and like it came with like a battle pass, a shop, and it's just like this whole menu. They animated everything, but we haven't seen gameplay of it, right? So it might have been different. But they had it ready, you know. They had like some of the UI and stuff just ready to go, and just Bungie. I don't know whose idea was it to like to trust Bungie's word to like, you know, this is not it. People are not gonna buy it. People are not gonna be addicted to it, or like spend money on it. But if the game was going to cost like $60 at launch, that's good enough, right? Because The Last of Us 1 on the PS3, right, and the PS4 was just like that, where people paid full price and they got multiplayer as an add-on, right? So it's just unfortunate for, you know, Bungie to like step in and be like, no, because I think The Last of Us Online would have done numbers, because it's like,
Oh, no
yeah,
doubt.
it's just like, even if it was kind of bad, but like it doesn't make sense it would be bad because they have a foundation from like the multiplayer they made previously. Like they can use that and learn from it. And who knows how the gameplay was like, but like man, the gameplay of like The Last of Us is like, it's good, right? So like it's just like this whole thing with them, and it just sucks that Sony would just trust Bungie's word on this. And right now, Bungie's right now is like in a terrible spot. So it's just like looking back on it, Sony fucked up, but you just gotta hope
Yeah.
that Bungie just steps it up and stuff with Marathon, because that's like their last hope, I think. Because what other game are they gonna be working on, right? They just gotta hope Marathon would
Okay.
just, because extraction shooters are just not like, I don't feel like they're popular, right? I mean, you have Escape from Tarkov and stuff like that, which are popular,
Yeah.
but the popular games are like, I feel like Counter-Strike, that type of style of game is just more popular, or like Overwatch, like just more, it's just more appealing than extraction shooters, which are more popular on PC. So yeah, just different audiences with this thing. So you gotta hope with Marathon they can increase their revenue.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is I think from what people have said, I think Bungie just completely in talks basically misled Sony as to what their revenue was going to be. I think they oversold. I think they said this is what it's going to be, and it came nowhere close. And that's obvious because we know they missed revenue expectations by 45%. So I think the obvious thing here is Sony made a bad purchase. Like, this is, they clearly at the very least overpaid for Bungie, and you know, like, I think a lot of what Bungie was bought for was their expertise, and you know, clearly that's not working out because their own internal projects aren't bearing fruit. So I mean, like, these are guys who are clearly have fallen on hard times, and I don't know if I'll get into it in a second, but I don't know exactly why that is. But in our final bullet point, after all this happened, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons, basically everybody started coming out and attacking the guy. What most people have said is, you know, like, this is 100% a leadership issue. They want him to step down. They're obviously claiming that all this misfortune is 100% his fault, and he's kind of led this company into ruin. And I mean, like, it's really hard for me to not agree with that, because I think every company, if it fails, is typically because of a decision that somebody high up made, and obviously the buck stops at the CEO, which is Pete Parsons. So, you know, like, it's very difficult for me to completely say, like, this is all Pete Parsons' fault. Probably, I think a majority of it is. But, you know, like, I think something that I saw kind of bandied about on social media, and some people were reporting on it, was like, before the layoffs happened, Pete Parsons was buying $2.8 million worth of like luxury cars or something like that, and bragging about it, and like showing them off to employees before the layoffs happened. It is a really bad optical move to do that. I get why people are pissed, but I mean, like, 2 points to that is, one, 2.8 million is like nothing comparative to like the number of people that they laid off. You know, like, that's what's going to keep, you know, maybe 100 people at that studio employed for 1 year. So like it's a lot of money for one person, but as in terms of a company, I don't see it as that much of an investment per se. And two is a lot of people, even from what I've heard from reports, a lot of people, even ground floor level employees, got massive acquisition packages. So when Sony bought Bungie, they just got massive payouts because they obviously, a lot of them were stockholders within the company, or held equity in some way, or they were just all given that as part of the agreement. I'm not exactly sure which that lies on there, but obviously Pete Parsons is probably a multi-millionaire at this point, especially because of the acquisition by Sony. So, like, I mean, he's got plenty of money to throw around like that. So to say that he can't is like, well, everybody got that money. It wasn't just him, and it is what it is. That's just business. So I'm not exactly like mad about that, but I can definitely say like leadership is most likely to blame for all of this misfortune. I would say I don't even know if Bungie was ever that good. Is like my personal opinion, and I think I would get a lot of backlash for that because like these are the guys who made Halo. These are the guys. Destiny is considered like the godfather of live service gaming, and I would say I've never been a fan of Halo personally. I've played a few of the games, or I've played all of the game's campaigns, and like I think they're fun, but I don't think they're like Halo used to be literally the biggest game on the planet.
It really was.
And I just don't I never understood that hype. Like I was never into it that much. And then like Destiny I played and I was like, this is fun, but it's like, it wasn't my kind of game in the first place, but like, it is what it is. But what I have seen over time is that like for some reason Destiny 2, like people either love it or they hate it. And it's like it's not even like some people like it, some people don't. It's like, no, the entire community hates Destiny 2 right now. And then I'll check in a couple months later and like, oh no, dude, they fixed everything. It's amazing. It's the best game ever. And then I'll come back a couple months later and they'll be like, oh no, they completely ruined the game again. Everybody hates it. And I'm like, okay, well, it just sounds like they're not very good at making this game, and I don't know why people are continuing to play it, because apparently it sucks half the time. I look at this and I say, how did Bungie get to be known as this massive like success when to me it's always been like they kind of just got lucky a lot of the times. But I also recognize that they do have a lot of talent. Like I do think the shooting in their games is really good. I do think that Halo incorporated like controller, like first-person shooters. Nobody knew how to program a game for a first-person shooter for a console before Halo. Like they were kind of the people who mainlined or mainstreamed like how controllers were laid out for first-person shooters.
Sure.
Like they've done a lot. And obviously live service gaming, like they set that foundation too. To say they're not trendsetters, to say they're not innovative, would be incorrect. They are. But like to say that I think their games should be as successful as they have been, I think I would put a question mark by that. That's a lot.
Nah.
Alexis, I'm going to shut up and let you speak.
Yeah. So going off with Pete Parsons, man, it seems like a lot of people hate him. Even like the people behind Destiny, they just hate this guy. They just want him to retire and stuff like that. And he's been there for a while now. I mean, he was there since like Halo like fucking began, right? And I guess like people are not like a fan of him, or they just want him to leave. They just want somebody brand new. But I feel like it's everybody's problem. I mean, it's leadership's problem, but it's also like the employees' problem, right? It's everybody's fault. It's not like one person's fault, but you got to start change somewhere, right? So I mean, it makes sense why they're going after Pete, but they're going after him like pretty rough, right? Talking about like they call him a coward, so it's just like, and what did this guy do? So they call him a joke and all that stuff. So yeah, and it's just like this whole thing with like Pete. I mean, we'll see what happens with them, because it is expensive to like replace a CEO and stuff like that. So like you got to find somebody fit for that role. And you don't know who, right? And then moving on to Bungie, right? You are right that they did grossly overpay for like Bungie, like 3.6 billion. That's like a lot of money, right? And all behind their belt was just like Destiny and Halo. Like they just don't have that repertoire of like from other studios, right? Like Bethesda, like
But that's admittedly a very big resume.
it is, but
those are massive games.
like they're like very how do you say it? Like one trick ponies, right? That's how you say it. Like they're only like into like first person shooters, like type. So I mean, Halo is huge, right? But then like you see a fall off over time once like I think when Bungie stopped working on it. And there's like this whole thing with like Halo of like, is Halo even still alive? Like, do people still care about Halo? And
no.
yeah,
The answer is no.
it's tough because I think Halo will be a resurged if they release it on everything, right? Instead of just on Xbox, which
I think
it is possible,
yeah.
right? And then what was the other thing? It's just they just like how do you say it? They're just like they're too early into the trends, right? You're talking about like how Halo was the one that popularized like first person shooters for like consoles, right? And like before Halo, like first person shooters on consoles, they just sucked, right? Like it was just bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then once Halo comes out, a lot of these companies start taking notice, like Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty is the reason why Halo just fell off, right? Call of Duty just did Halo better, even though it's like a different style, right? Different gameplay and all that, but it's like a first-person shooter, which people only care about, right? So Call of Duty like went straight up popular, and it's still popular to this day. And then you have Destiny, right? You say it's the live service starter, which is true, right? Because there's like, I remember when the game came out, there'd be like updates, and like people were talking about like the tower and stuff like that, and they're talking about the Gallon right? You remember the Gallon when that came out?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, people were like excited, and then Fortnite came out and just changed everything, right? So it's just like they're like the progenitor of like these trends, but they just don't have the staying power that they should have. And for Bungie, right? I mean, just Halo was just like, it's huge, but it's just like you can't make a game just like that again, where like everybody in the world is playing this. They're playing on the Saturday weekend with Mountain Dew and stuff like that, just doing LAN parties and stuff like that. You're never gonna see that again in this day and age, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, they did pay for that history, but they just don't have the IP of Halo behind them. So, yeah, it's like I said, just hope that the new IPs that they make, like Marathon, is good. But then you have like older employees just leaving, like veterans and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's tough for Bungie at this point. So that's like my conclusion on it.
Yeah, it's a sad day. Sad day. I mean, you see a Titan like this fall off.
Yeah.
You know, it's never a good thing. You know, but I think that's all we have on it, though.
Nice.
So I will turn it back over to you, sir. Thank you for letting me take the reins.
Of course. You just gotta wonder like what Titans are like next to get shut down or like be like fall off. Like people are hoping that Activision and that Call of Duty is next. I mean, they did have that stint during like Advanced Warfare and like Call of Duty Ghosts where their sales weren't that huge, and then when the Modern Warfare reboot came out, they just revitalized themselves. So maybe just Bungie has to like rework their whole company, but wishing for them the best, right? So yeah. All right, that's enough for the news for today. Let's get into the games we are playing, right? I'll start with mine's really quick. So I've been playing like a couple games. So I wanted to add Fortnite to this list. You're like, what the fuck, Fortnite? There was like an event yesterday, right? And it was like a Disney Fortnite event. I just wanted to talk this, right?
D23,
yes,
right?
the D23. So
Yeah,
it's like this Disney thing, and apparently it's gonna be gaming focus. Yesterday, so I was just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? And there was a lot of leaks yesterday, and one of the leaks was a Kingdom Hearts collab with Sora, right? And so apparently a weapon in the game is gonna be a Keyblade that can shoot fire, ice, and thunder, and can also heal your teammates. So it's just like,
in Fortnite.
Apparently,
okay.
Right? This was like the leak, and a lot of leakers are like, this is like from a reliable leaker. They leaked the item shop before. Get ready for this and stuff like that. So a lot of leakers are a lot of people who report the leakers are just like they're on fraud watch because they just bamboozled the Kingdom Hearts community, because when that event happened yesterday, none of that shit happened. So I was just watching, and a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans were like getting pissed off. It was like, what the fuck? Like nothing happened. They just showed like Disney characters that are gonna be in Fortnite, like the Incredibles, right? If you're a fan of the Incredibles, they're gonna be a skin in Fortnite. There might be there's also gonna be like some Star Wars Mandalorian stuff, and also some Disney villains like Captain Hook from Peter Pan, right? Or Maleficent is gonna be in Fortnite. The villain in Kingdom Hearts, right?
And Sleeping
Yeah,
Beauty.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those.
Yeah. So then I was watching that event. I was just like, man, I was just like bamboozled. I couldn't believe it. Like it was a waste of time, and they delayed it too. So it was just like a waste of fucking time. So I just got mad yesterday. He's like, where the fuck is Sora, right? I want Sora in Fortnite. Like I want to buy his skin and shit. So yeah, I did play Fortnite though. I play like the reload. There's like a reload mode where like if you die, you can just respawn and stuff like that. And it had like the old map, so like it was like bringing back some memories of like the old map and stuff like that. So yeah, just quick Fortnite, just a little rant about some of the people reporting the leaks, saying that they're reliable and that they don't show up at the Disney event. So it was annoying.
Sounds like leakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just sounds like.
And I was one of them that was praying for a Kingdom Hearts 4 like trailer or something. Like I was that person, just holding on to that small bit of hope. So yeah. And the next game I was playing is Valorant. So this has been in beta, right, for a while now, but they just released it fully for the console, so it's an official release. And so far, the tutorial, I will say, is very long. So if you do want to play it, you gotta spend like 30 minutes understanding the tutorial.
Dang, that's a long barrier to entry for a tutorial.
Oh yeah, because it's like 5 to 10 minutes of like understanding the controls, and it puts you into like a full game of like bots, and that you have to play.
Oh, that's just a tutorial
Yes.
game.
And if you never played Valorant, right? You never played Valorant, right? Or
I actually played like a match of it on PC.
okay,
And I can't play with keyboard and mouse, so I just got obliterated and stopped.
it's good on console, honestly. So I would try it out. So if you know about Valorant, the games are like, they're very long. If the games go long, so like.
Yeah, they're like 45 minutes or
Yeah,
something.
you have to win 13 rounds, I believe.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
sometimes the rounds go all the way to overtime, and that happened to me one time, and the game was like almost like an hour long. So it was kind of annoying, because if you quit the game, you like, it's like you get penalized or whatever. So yeah, the tutorials that you got to play bots and stuff like that. So far I've been having a lot of fun with it. Learning the controls is tough, like even the abilities, because there's like a lot of like heroes that you got to learn. And some of them you don't even know what the fuck they do, and it's like the descriptions for the abilities are very long. So it's just like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, what does it do? Is this good or not? And I don't even know who's a good character in this game, honestly, because everybody has the same guns. Cause you gotta buy guns from like a shop or whatever. And the best guns are the most expensive ones. So like if it costs a lot of money, it'll be the most powerful ones. But sometimes you don't have enough money, so you have to buy like a shitty gun and like learn to play with it, and it's cool. But yeah, so far it's tough because the aiming in this game, right? So it's precise. It's weird because it is precise, but like it's very like awkward, right? Because like the crosshair is not gonna be where your bullet's gonna be at. That's just like an indicator of where your gun is looking at, right? Because when you shoot, it's gonna be like a circle of area that where your gun is actually going to shoot at. So it might shoot outside the crosshair. So you have to predict yourself of where the bullet's going to be. So like the best way to counteract that is to crouch and like shoot at the same time, but you have to be standing still because the it'll be more stabilized for your gun or whatever. So it's just like a learning process of learning how to aim. Headshots are like almost like instant kills. So like sometimes you'll walk around the corner and you just die instantly. So you got to be prepared for that. And that's where the abilities come in, because you have to like understand like how to play around corners, and you have to camp a lot too. Like you gotta like stay in one place. And the games are, so if you don't know, the games are like search and destroy. So like it's 5v5, and like everybody has one life. And yeah, I think it's 5 or 6. I don't remember, but I think it is 5. But yeah, the games are long. I've been having fun, so I'm glad I tried it out, because I wasn't really into. Because I did play on PC just like you, Henry, but like the controls were like tough. And it's like, man, I just suck at keyboard and mouse with games. So I'm just glad it's on console because it's like one of the games I did actually want to try out. So I've been playing with my friend, and we just play like these games, and we just go at it and stuff like that. So I'm just doing casual games. So before that, probably go into ranked later on once I learn how to play the game. Because there's a lot to learn. Honestly, it's like very hardcore. So if you do want to play like a Counter-Strike type of game on your console, just try out Valorant. Honestly, it's like a mix of Counter-Strike and Overwatch. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually downloaded it because like I played it like it's just one, it's such a huge deal, obviously. Like it's a massive game. And two is like I played it on PC and I was like, it's really not really fair. I didn't give it a fair shake because I can't play on keyboard and mouse. So like I should probably give it a try on console where I'm a little bit more comfortable. But I completely forgot. Like, you've honestly scared me away from it a little bit because I completely forgot. One, it's such a massive time commitment.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, my brain had just defaulted to, oh, yeah, matches are a 5 to 10 minute death match, and that's what it is every single round or every single game. And, I forgot it's like 45 minutes. So, like, one, I don't know if I have that time to, like, invest in just one match to know that I suck at the game. And two, I forgot how hardcore of a shooter it is. For some reason, I thought you can just go in and you can just play, like any other first-person shooter and just, go and blast somebody in the face and have a good time. But no, like you really do have to be tactical and you have to be precise and you have to work with your teammates. And like I don't know if that's something that one I want to jump into, and two that I can even do with just like me, because I don't have any friends who want to play Valorant. So like I would have to find a party to play with or a person to play with at least. And we're a bunch of randoms. It just doesn't sound like that's a recipe for happiness.
Yeah.
It just sounds like that would be a massacre.
So with this game, because you said you're not like good at it, so right now I am kind of bad at it. But the other players are just as bad as well because everybody's new to it. So, like, in these games, I don't really find, like, good players, like, amazing players. I'm just finding, like, bad players as well because the aiming thing is so weird because I remember I was, like, up front in front of a person. I just couldn't kill him because my bullets were, like, shooting outside of his head, even though my crosshair was on his head. So, it's just, like, it's so weird, right, with the aim and stuff. So, you're going to need a lot of practice, and I don't know if you would be interested in practicing.
Yeah, that's the thing is all these games, you got to invest hundreds of hours to be good.
Oh,
yeah. And it's like, I got other games I can play. I can play and beat at least 3 like pretty decently long games in 100 hours. Yeah. So it's just, I got more stuff to do.
Yeah. And that's why Call of Duty is popular, right? Because it's simple. You just got to aim down and just kill them. That's it.
Exactly. Click and shoot.
Valorant's not that. You can aim down in Valorant, but it's not. When you aim down, it's not gonna be where it's gonna shoot at because it just zooms in. That's it. So, so yeah, it's hardcore, but try it out if you can. If you're itching for like a multiplayer game, just like Counter-Strike, so try it out. It's free, and it's better than Concord, man. I'm having more fun on it than Concord. So, and then my last game. So I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, but I finished Chain of Memories.
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
you did.
So yeah, that one it was quick. There's two parts to it because you have to do Sora's story and then Riku's story, and I blitzed through Riku's story. I just put it on beginner, and I'm like, I don't really care about the gameplay. I want to learn about the story. So I just blasted it. It took me like a couple hours just to finish Riku's story compared to Sora's, which took me like 20. So yeah, it was cool. Interesting to see the ending, and it is a must play because it leads into Kingdom Hearts 2. So yeah, so
unfortunately every Kingdom Hearts game is technically a must
it is
play because they all incorporate everything. Yeah. It's horrific.
So I'm glad I played Chain of Memories. 8 out of 10. I don't really care about the cards, which is annoying, but Kingdom Hearts 2, right? So it's supposedly the best one. And when you first play it, you're like, what the hell's going on, right? Because you're in Twilight Town or whatever.
Yeah, you got to set the stage on that for sure.
Yeah, you're playing as Roxas, and that's the intro. Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? Where's Sora? And there's a lot of story beats in the prologue that spoil it, so I won't say it. But do I say it or not? Because
I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends what you're saying, but I assume you're saying you eventually play as Sora, which is not a spoiler.
Yeah. It's just a prologue. You play as Roxas, and it's like there's a lot of story beats in the beginning. You're like, whoa, what the hell? And it makes sense at the end. Good as prologue, honestly, and everything that ties in to the intro. And it's just like it's definitely an upgrade to the first game, like easily. Like just cutscenes, gameplay, how the game looks, and it just looks way better. And I can see why people are saying this is like Rebirth compared to Remake, because this is like Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1 is like way better. So I can see the comparisons where people are talking about there, kind of.
It's interesting. Okay, so you say you liked the prologue.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, so as a kid, I probably hated that prologue more than anything else in life. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think as I've gotten older, I appreciate it more, but like, I definitely hated it as a kid because one, I didn't care about Roxas. I didn't care about what was going on in his story. I wanted to get, let's say, when is Donald and Goofy getting around?
Yeah, right.
You know, like, who is this guy? And like, when does the story start? And it starts very slow. Like in Kingdom Hearts, the prologue is like, oh, we got to make money by, you know, doing a paper route. Yeah. You know, like it's like boring. It's like not even like interesting. But you know, it's to set a stage that like this is a normal everyday life that like, you know, like this guy is happy with, and then all of a sudden it gets turned upside down, and you see that slow kind of like that fall into chaos that leads to you transitioning into Sora. And like I appreciate that. I don't know if I love it though. Like it is still like a long commitment for you to finally get into the meat of the game. It's obviously been a while since I played it, but like how long would you say the prologue even is? How many? It's definitely over an hour. I know
2 to 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably what I would have said was about 3 hours.
It's very long.
Which is a long commitment to get to like this is where the game gets good. You know, like you know, and I hate when people say that. It's like, oh well, you have to watch the first 3 episodes before it actually gets good. It's like, okay, well, sounds like the intro to the show sucks. You know, like, that's what that sounds like. But like if you liked everything that was there, hey, you know, more power to you. And like I said, I think I appreciate it more now. But I remember as a kid, I was like, this is not what I'm here for. This is not fun. Mm-hmm. So it's just interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah. Because I didn't know who was Roxas. I'm like, who is this guy? But then you later on, like, you know, he's part of this and that. And it's like this whole thing. And it makes sense why they want you, like the game, like the collection wants you to play 358 over 2 days. Because that's like, I guess like a prequel, I think. Because I see Roxas and he's little and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a prequel to 2.
Yes, and that you have to play that after 2, right?
I mean, it depends how if you want to play the game chronologically in story or chronologically in release.
Yeah, doing release. Yeah.
Then yeah, it would be after 2.
So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so far so good. Kingdom Hearts 2. But you know, the gummy ships missions are back. Man, it's like I said, I hate these missions, man. It's just like, just let me get to the world. I don't really care about these gummy ship missions, or just make it more fun.
I get that.
And they're long too.
I do think that they're way better in 2. They're significantly improved.
Yeah, but
you may not even have gotten to the good ones yet, but there are missions. I remember there are some gummy ship missions that are like actually fun.
I just did one because I had to go to what was it? To Jack Skellington or Nightmare Before Christmas World, and I chose one.
You're further along than I thought.
Oh, I'm far. Like man, I'm like level 20, I think, or something around there.
I mean, yeah, if you're at Jack Skellington, you're almost like halfway through the game.
Okay, and I one of the worlds I saw was the Little Mermaid. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that unless I'm forced to, because I hate.
I think it actually is optional.
Is it?
If it makes you feel better, I think.
I mean, I'll still do it. It's just, is it like the same as the first game where you have to swim underwater and stuff like that?
You sweet summer child! It is very different than the first game, actually.
Okay, is it better?
I will not spoil it for you.
Okay.
No, I would probably say it is worse.
Oh man, damn.
I would probably say it is worse. But there is a reason it is optional. There's a reason it's
Okay.
optional.
But does it have like a good conclusion or something, like where is it worth it? I will say.
I mean, I would recommend
Okay.
it, but I mean, just because it doesn't take that long is the thing. It's kind of like it's very similar to like 100 Acre Wood.
Yeah.
You know, like Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
World. It's like a mini game. It's a mini game
Gotcha.
world. It's no longer like a real like fight heartless kind of
Got
deal.
you.
So it's a very short commitment.
All right. Yeah, man. Cause I've been to. Oh man, Timeless River. Oh man, that was cool.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment in the game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and yeah. So yeah, I'm that far. Like I'm that kind of far into the game. So I'm enjoying it so far. I think I'm enjoying it more than one. So that's good. So yeah, continue playing more.
You think the combat's better?
Is it better? I think it is. It is, like, I will say, it's like more varied and stuff, but I still have to unlock more abilities and stuff. So
Okay. It gets a lot crazier, or maybe not a lot crazier, but it gets crazier the deeper you go, I think.
yeah.
You get like abilities that are just like cool, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you know, letting them fly like all the time. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, I saw this and I noticed this in battle. Whenever you're fighting like an enemy or something, you could press triangle like during when they're attacking or they're doing something, and there's like an animation, like a special attack move, which is cool. Same with like the partners and stuff. Like you have like new limits with them. Like there was one. This one was cool, right? Because I was in Hercules world, like Colosseum or whatever. So I was like down there with Hades, and then he summoned Orin from FFX or whatever, FF10. So
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is that Orin? Because I could tell by the clothes. I'm like, wait, is that fucking Orin? And then he shows up, and you can see his hand just like that. I'm like, oh shit. So when he showed, I was fucking hyped. And then, yeah, and then he has like new moves and stuff, like where you can like do like combos with him and stuff like that. And that's with like all the partners and stuff
Yeah.
in the game. So that's interesting. So it's been cool. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I first played 2. I had never played Final Fantasy X at that point, so I had no idea who Arden was, and I was just like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's freaking cool.
Yeah.
that was all I needed to
Nice.
know.
Yeah. And then also one thing before I end it off is that it was funny seeing Sora coming out the capsule, whatever, and he still has his clothes from the first game. It's like it barely fits him. It's like the clothes are so short on him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny seeing that. So yeah, pretty good so far. That was a lot to talk about. So I'll hand it off to you.
What did you think about just
Yeah.
one last question? Like, what did you think about the midpoint of the game? I think I consider that the midpoint of the game. Like when you go back and you do Steamboat Willie and you fight 1,000 Heartless and all that other stuff. Like, how did you feel about that segment?
I haven't done that part, I don't think.
I thought you did. You said you did Steamboat
Oh
Willie.
yeah, I did Timeless River, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm misremembering the events then, I guess, of the game. I thought that all happens at the same time.
That's
Never
probably
mind.
later on, I think.
Yeah, I think you got a little bit left then before you get to that point. Then never mind. That's a huge point in the game.
Got you.
You'll see. You'll
Yeah.
see.
So yeah, I'll be anticipating that. So hand it off to you, man. Dave the Diver. Cool game, I think. So let the reins to you.
Yeah. So I have been playing Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver is an interesting one. It was a very, very big indie game as of like last year. I believe it came out last year, and then it got ported to consoles early this year, and it was given away as a PlayStation Plus extra game, and so that's where I played it. And this game was received really, really, really well. If you get on Steam right now, it's got over 100,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive. It sold over 1 million copies in its first week on just Steam. Like, this game, I think, is a 90 on Metacritic. Like, it is very, very, very well received. Like, it's crazy to me how well received it is. And, like I said, well, I got to try it out. Like, if it's this good, I have to try it. And I will say, I have interesting feelings about it, but I will, and we'll get into that, but I will say that it is objectively a great game. It is hard for me to complain about it at all, at least from like an objective standpoint. This game has great art. It has a solid loop, solid gameplay loop. It has excellent polish. It has original gameplay concepts and designs, and it has diverse mechanics. Like, it's a massive checklist of like everything you want to see in a game. And you know, like, I'll get into that as we go. But as a high level overview, if you've never heard of Dave the Diver, it focuses on a man named Dave, who's a diver, and he is helping out a sushi restaurant. So like, it's almost a kind of a comical premise of like, well, he's a scuba diver, and he has to go into the ocean and catch fish to then sell at the sushi restaurant. And you know, like, that's already kind of an interesting concept in general, but then like as you progress, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but you basically find a underground mermaid society. And you know, there's earthquakes that begin to form, and you have to find out what the cause of these earthquakes are, so you can save the mermaid civilization and the restaurant at the same time. So you know, the story, there is a story here. I personally did not get very you know, like, attached to the story, but I do think that it is, you know, like, way more interesting than I assumed it would have been going into it, which I think is very helpful, because this is a very chill game. It's a very wholesome game, very chill vibes. You know, like, there's, even though this game certainly does have challenge, like, it never gets very overwhelming. And so, like, you can very well, like, I think I was talking about Dredge last podcast, and it had a really big fight, I think, in design of whether it wanted to be a relaxing game or it wanted to be a stressful game. And this game clearly just wants to be, it wants to be relaxing. I want you to go in and catch some fish and chill out and enjoy the atmosphere of the ocean. And I think that it is a fun thing to do. This game has crossover DLC with both Dredge and Godzilla. I played both of those. They're both free. They're both great. They both add a lot of really cool content that I think I would easily recommend, and very high quality content. Like normally when you see like a huge tie-in, like, it's normally like, in most games it's like a skin, or, you know, like, oh well, here's an in-game item packs brought to you by, you know, I don't know, Despicable Me 4 or something
Yeah.
like that, you know. And you know, it's nothing. It's really just marketing. And in this, it's like, oh no, you get like legit like new mechanics. You get a massively produced boss fight. You know, like, you get a lot of really cool stuff and a good bit of content there for them. So I'd easily recommend them to anybody who hasn't played the game before. There's also like Guilty Gear DLC in the Switch.
Whoa.
And then there's been other DLCs that are just kind of one-off, like, kind of more like I was talking about, like a skin for your boat or something like that. And they're working on more. So like, there will be more DLC like this coming in the future, which is very surprising to me. So this is where I'm going to kind of go off on a side tangent a little bit. I thought I was going to save this for later in the discussion, but I'm going to throw it in now. This is not the only crossover it has. And when I saw these crossovers, I was kind of raising an eyebrow, because I was like, isn't this like an indie game? Like, didn't this get nominated for Indie Game of the Year at the Game Awards? And there was some controversy around that. And I was like, an indie game would certainly not have the connections and the money to pull in a Godzilla crossover. Like, that just seems a little out of place. Like, maybe another indie game would work with another indie game, so like Dredge would make sense, but like, that Godzilla is like way out of place here. And so as you progress through the game, there's eventually you hit a mini game. One of the characters in the game is obsessed with like an anime idol group, and there's like a full-on anime cutscene that is like so well done. I was like, this is amazing. Like, how did this indie studio like do this? Like, this is crazy. And so when I started doing my research for this game, I realized, oh, this game is like the furthest thing from indie ever, because I realized, okay, well, what is this anime cutscene from? Well, it turns out it's a reference to another gacha game that the publisher of this game from Dave the Diver called Nexon owns. So it is a crossover for another gacha game that this publisher has made. And so I started digging. I was like, okay, Mint Rocket is the developer for this game. Mint Rocket is a studio that was created by Nexon. So who is Nexon? Nexon is, you may know them probably best as the makers of MapleStory, which was like a very successful MMO from like a long time ago. If you were in the internet a long time ago, you probably saw like an AMV of a shoddily, made MapleStory AMV, somewhere along the lines. They are also the publishers of massive free-to-play titles such as The Finals and the most recently released The First Descendant. So like they have very big, along with many other games. So they have published and made many other like very successful, very profitable titles. So this is not an indie game. And I will say that a game with this much polish and this much going on in it, you have to have a massive budget behind you. Like you have to have a massive amount of money, and clearly it paid off. I'm honestly surprised that they put that much money into a single player game with free DLC, but like this is not an indie game. Like this is definitively not an indie game, and I know that you can make an argument that like indie is a very generalized term, but like my definition of indie is like not you have a massive publisher bankrolling you the entire time. So like that's, I think that's interesting to say the least. But anyway, back to Dave the Diver. The game's wholesome, slow paced, and like as you go, you get new objectives pretty regularly or new mechanics. So like you'll get a farm, or you'll get like an aquarium where you can raise fish and send them to the restaurant and make them. And then the further down you go, you interact with new fish or new story components or new mechanics and obstacles that you have to overcome. So like every time the game works on a day cycle. So you have like 3 times you can go out and do stuff in the day, and like one of those is normally where you're like serving fish at the restaurant. And it was so rare for me to go an entire day in game and not have something new or cool happen that I could now interact with or like look forward to doing when I jumped in the water next time. I would say that these things often were not like massive incentives for me at least, but they were at least impressive from like a design standpoint, and I had to give them credit for that. So with all that diversity, with all these things that really go well together, this is where I think I personally had problems with the game. And when I say personally, I mean it really is subjective. And that's like I really just didn't jive with this game overall. Like I can't complain about Dave the Diver, but I can say that it just didn't resonate with me. While the loop is well designed, like I felt the further you go in the game, like the more time I had to farm for fish, or the more frustrating it was, like grinding for fish to catch. And like I felt like I had to traverse more of the environment, and movement was so slow that it felt like I was retreading the same ground over and over and over again. And it's not necessary. Like you don't have to do that. Like you can skip time, but like I felt the need to grind every single day. So like I never truly felt compelled by the story, and the same with its characters. But the loop was engaging, so I kept going. And the deeper I went, the more rewarded I felt for investing heavily into the fishing, which was great. But like overall, it's I wanted something else from the game, and it just didn't give it to me.
I think if you know what you want and you know what the game is offering, this game is objectively great. Like, I get why it's so highly rated. It's just, like, it's like Stardew. I think the best way to compare it is like Stardew Valley. Like, while Stardew Valley is like probably a great game, like, I just have never been compelled to play it because I don't want to play a farming sim game. Like, I think, it's probably objectively great. And the same thing is with, like Dave the Diver. I think Dave the Diver is objectively great, but like, it's probably just not the game that I wanted. So like, it's, it is what it is. It's mixed opinions from me, but I still think it's objectively good. Hopefully I'm not too wishy-washy there, but I don't know. What do you have to say about that, Alexis? You have anything to add to that?
I heard that same sentiment about how Dave the Diver is good in the beginning, right? And then you're having fun, it's getting addicting. But then later on, like the end game, like near the end of the game, is just like later on, right? They just don't find that same enjoyment in Dave the Diver, and it seems like you found that same complaint as well.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I've honestly, the reviews are just so good for this game. I haven't seen anybody complain about it. So like, I'm so surprised. I'm so happy to hear I'm not crazy. But yeah, like dives, they actually tell you how long each dive is. So like at the beginning of the game, dives are literally like 2 minutes, and by the end of the game, my dives were taking 45 to 50 minutes.
Okay.
So like it's like at the beginning you're really kind of going, you're pretty snappy jumping in and out, and then like by the end of the game, like you have to basically just traverse the entire map to try and do whatever you need to do to check off all the to-do lists you have. And I definitely enjoyed my time more with it at the beginning. And going back to, I think there's several kind of tie-ins here, but like Dredge I was talking about last week, I found really addictive because I found its loop so quick and easy. Like you were going and you were catching a fish, you were immediately turning around, selling it for an upgrade, and going back out and doing it again. And the day-night cycle was like 5 minutes every day or something like that. Incredibly quick. So like I was addicted to that quick turnover. And Dave the Diver has that very early on, but it quickly gets not quickly, but it slowly gets away from that. So like I would probably honestly play Dredge again before I played Dave the Diver again. I loved Dredge still, but like like it's just like it is the design behind those games, what they're trying to accomplish, and Dave the Diver it does slow down tremendously as you go.
Yeah, I heard that thing that I said about like people losing enjoyment later on. I think a lot of people were saying that. So I think the reviews are different. But like I think when people got to play it more, they're like, oh wait, it's good in the beginning, but then it falls off near the end. And for like Dave the Diver, I think that was the reason why I didn't really win Indie Game of the Year. I think was it last year? Yeah, and why like Cocoon won it, like just
I think it was Sea of Stars that won it.
Really? I thought it was Cocoon. Okay. Yeah. It might have been both, or one of them got an Indie Gamer award, and that's the reason why. Yeah, and this was on my radar as well, because I remember they announced it when the PS4. It looked fun. It's like, it reminds me of like them Flash games where you're playing like you're playing in like a diner or whatever, and like you're serving food or something.
Yeah, that part. That's one part, very small part of the game for sure. There's so many parts. Every part has to be small. But it's I would genuinely recommend it though. I would say that like, if this game is going to be a game that you enjoy, you will enjoy it so much. Like, it is a really good game. But I obviously got access to it for free, so it wasn't that big of a commitment. So I'm totally okay with that. But like, I think if you have access to it for free through PlayStation Extra, like, absolutely give it a try. Because you could really enjoy it. It didn't hit me the way I thought it would, but like, I definitely get where the reviews are coming from. It's interesting if that complaint that I have, if you're saying it's that widespread, I'm surprised it's a 90 on Metacritic. Like, that's so high. Like, if you break 89 like into the 90 range, like, you should be like one of the best games ever made, and there should be no problem with you.
Yeah, right.
but it is what it is.
Probably resonates different with people. I mean, depending on how like it plays out. How long would you say like the complete experience of it, like to get like everything out of Dave the Diver, like 15 hours, 20,
25.
25. Okay.
Hours.
Yeah. So it's honestly like that's probably what I would consider a good game to like length to be. 20, 25 hours, something like that.
Nice. And I remember the controversy of like, is this an indie game? Because when looking at it, you're like, it is an indie game, kind of. And then.
Yeah, I know, right? And that's what I said from a 10-mile perspective. 10-mile distance is like, oh yeah, it has pixelated art, so it must be an indie game. Like that's kind of the instinct I think we all have. And like 100%, it's not an indie game. No shot. It's way too polished. There's way too much going on. Like the production value for this game is just too high, and obviously the pedigree, like I was saying, it's got a bunch of money behind it. So like it's not indie, but like it's just that is a funny conversation to have about it though.
I think for the next episode, I wonder if there's like a Dave the Diver trial or like a demo or whatever. And I want to try that out and Dredge as well. Like I want to try both of them out and see which one I like better, because like you obviously enjoyed Dredge like way more than Dave the Diver.
I enjoyed the intro absolutely way more than Dredge. I was addicted to Dredge.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like I can't put this down. Like it really was like really fun. Really
Nice.
fun. Or at least the loop was really compelling. Dave the Diver was just like a slow, steady burn that was always good, pretty much for the entire game.
All right. Yeah, I'll try them out for sure next episode.
I'd love to hear it, man. Make it a fishing podcast.
Oh yeah.
No video games, just fishing.
Yeah, I love fishing, so that'll get me
Perfect.
into Dredge. It's chapter 1, so that's free. So I'll try that out. Yeah. How long is chapter 1, by the way?
I don't know. I didn't time chapter. Probably like an hour.
Okay.
Probably hour and a half.
Yes. Yeah, I'll definitely try it out and then give my thoughts later on, and see, because I'm intrigued by it, because I just looking at it just doesn't appeal to me. Like it's so weird.
No, I would agree. Like Dredge, the same thing. I was like, this game it doesn't look fun, and it didn't look fun to me when I first saw it. But again, because so many people wouldn't shut up about it, and because it was free, I decided to give it a try, and it totally clicked with me. So it's one of those things like you never know, and that's why I love trying out all sorts of different games, because you really you don't know until you play it. Sometimes you can, but like a lot of these like more oddities, these differential experiences, you kind of just have to give it a shot just to see.
Have you played Vampire Survivors or no? Okay.
Yeah. I actually love that genre. Yeah. There's a lot of games like that out there now, and I like trying them out every once in a while, just seeing what people say is good. Like I like Hollow Cure. Which is if you like VTubers, it's a great one.
No, I don't.
Yeah, there you go. But it's free. It's a free game. It's on Steam, and it's honestly one of the best of that genre I've ever played. So it's worth it if you're into that genre.
All right, because I was in that same boat with Vampire Survivors, where it's like everybody's loving it, but when I look at it, I didn't really look as fun. And then when you try, you're like, I was addicted to Vampire Survivors.
Oh yeah, man. That game was addictive. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's everything I got for what I'm playing. Do you have any final words on Dave Diver to the audience?
No. I think if like I said, if you think anything I said sounded like what you want in a game, then absolutely check it out. And you may fall in love with it and think it's one of the best games ever. And if you don't, then you may not like it as much. I guess that's probably my final words on it.
All right, so yeah, those are the games that we've been playing. Get ready for the next episode where I'm gonna be trying out a couple games I'm gonna be talking about next episode. Who knows if I'll finish Kingdom Hearts 2, because apparently I'm like close to halfway, so or like near it. So maybe we'll see. So yeah, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening to the duo episode of Alexis and Henry of a Plug and Play. Pretty bizarre first time. Hopefully we can see Cameron in the future and get an update on him, which would be awesome. But last wishes as well. Salute to Cam.
Salute. Raise a glass for your fallen
Lord carry him.
Fallen Plug and Play podcast.
Yeah,
brethren.
Lord carry him now. So thank you everybody for listening to another episode of the Plug and Play podcast. Give us a rating, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.